Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So we've got some updated news with regards to the SEC lawsuit against Ripple. So James K. Fillon posted this on Twitter, XRP community. This is with regards to the SEC versus Ripple. Below is the link to Brad Garlinghouse's motion to dismiss the SEC's enforcement action against him with memorandum of law in support filed just yesterday, guys, April 12th, 2021. So I have the documents up here for those of you guys who want to read them. Of course, they are legal documents that are very, very lengthy, and there's two here. One is the motion to dismiss from Brad Garlinghouse specifically, and the other one is a declaration of Matthew Solomon, Brad's lawyer, who apparently is no longer going to be representing him from what I understand. So let me read you this. Please take notice that upon the accompanying memorandum of law in support of defendant Brad Garlinghouse's motion to dismiss the amended complaint, the declaration of Matthew Solomon dated April 12th, and its exhibits, the notice of motion and such, others and further papers and proceedings as may be filed or had, defendant Bradley Garlinghouse by his counsel will move this court before the Honorable Annalisa Torres, United States District Judge, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, United States Courthouse, at the address, at a time and date to be determined by this court, for an order dismissing the SEC's amended complaint with prejudice pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12b-6. Take further notice that pursuant to the order signed and dated on March 18th, opposition papers, if any, to be filed by May 14th, 2021, and reply papers, if any, to be filed by June 4th, 2021. So this is still getting dragged out, guys. And again, I'm not going to get into the details of this. Just wanted to bring you guys the highlights. Of course, there's still this argument of, is the SEC using World War II era precedent, as it's mentioned down here, to, basically accuse Ripple and its leaders, its CEO and founder, respectively, of, selling unregistered securities. And they're saying, these kinds of laws that were drafted so long ago are kind of irrelevant to the type of technology that is here today. So, they're talking about, the orange groves, and they're using these examples to talk about cutting edge blockchain technology. And so anyway, just to give you guys a heads up, this is what's happening. So Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen file motions to dismiss. Their lawyers argue that their respective transactions were predominantly foreign, despite claiming that some XRP purchases were located in the United States. Garlinghouse's motion reads that the SEC has failed to plead the details of at least one transaction in the U.S. Allegations of violating Section 5 should be rejected by the court, according to the defendants, since the plaintiff's complaint has filed to plausibly allege any recklessness to prove that the Ripple executives were knowingly breaking the law by selling the token. Larsen's lawyers also state that the SEC is barred from claiming monetary relief by the statute of limitations, a law that restricts the time period within which legal proceedings can be initiated. So despite investigating Ripple and Mr. Larsen for over 2.5 years before filing its initial complaint, obtaining Mr. Larsen's XRP trading records, and having every opportunity to identify each offer and sale for which it seeks monetary relief, the SEC fails to allege any discrete XRP offers or sales. So the saga continues, guys. I will leave this article in the description of the video along with both of these PDFs from James Fillon's tweet thread here. So I wanted to thank Martin Volk, first of all, for bringing this to my attention. Also, Jesse Hines mentioning, this motion makes me sad. I want them to win, but I don't want Matthew out of this case. The Matthew he is referring to is Matthew Solomon. So again, a brief update there. Guys, we also got this from MACKATTACKXRP. XRP use cases explode with DeFi crypto integration, and so there has been more news with WKAHNEMAN. XRP is experiencing a burst of new use cases now that its latest integration allows users to leverage the fourth largest crypto asset, namely XRP, in a number of decentralized finance or DeFi applications. So WKAHNEMAN's WAN CEO and founder Jack Liu reveals that XRP tokens will soon be available for DeFi use cases on the blockchain interoperability platform. I'm so happy, here's a quote, "I'm so happy to announce that WKAHNEMAN's decentralized cross-chain bridges for XRP are about to go live on the mainnet. This means that XRP tokens can now be used for liquidity mining and yield farming." WKAHNEMAN is a cross-chain infrastructure that connects isolated public and private blockchains. It is designed to host decentralized applications for the financial industry and to enable the transfer of assets. Its suite of products includes automated market maker WANSwap, lending platform WANLend, and yield farming DeFi dApp WANFarm. So Liu also adds that XRP holders will not only be able to utilize more of DeFi's use cases on WKAHNEMAN's array of products, but they can also interact with other popular public blockchains using Ripple Ripple's native token, XRP. He says XRP holders can now engage with DeFi applications such as WanSwap, WanLand, WanFarm, and many more on the Wan chain and the Ethereum, and certainly on more blockchains in the future. So some other cryptos that Wan Chain supports are Ethereum, Bitcoin, and EOS. At the time of this writing, XRP is trading at about $1.58. And if you guys caught this morning's video, you know that we're a lot higher than that. We're at about $1.68, at least at the time of the recording of this morning's video. I'll link it up here if you guys didn't catch that. It's interesting because some people are kind of wondering, you know, is this kind of redundant? Is Wan Chain doing the same thing as the Flare networks? And so there was a bit of a debate about this. So RippleX tweeted this out, the official RippleX Twitter account. The Wan Chain team talks XRP cross-chain bridges with Hammertoe on Twitch tomorrow, and so that would be today because this tweet was from yesterday. So this has already occurred. Hammertoe on Twitter, for those of you guys who do not know, is Matt Hamilton. And Damur Sahami brings this up. Why is this news? It feels like a downgrade. Matt Hamilton trying to explain this. So Wan Chain is all about integrating other blockchains. Integrating with the XRP ledger opens up a whole load of possibilities to use XRP with Ethereum-based smart contracts on Wan Chain. Manpurse Excellence down here saying, what do you think of Flare? Ripple funded Flare, right? I'm not implying that you should pick one. Heck, the more the merrier. Matt Hamilton saying this is similar to Flare in some ways, different in others. But Flare responds incorrect to Matt Hamilton, who is a Ripple employee, a very respected person in the XRP community, but I'm not reading into this too much. I think that they are just clearing this up. They say there are almost no similarities. Wan Chain is a custodial bridge solution. No practical differences to a K of N multi-sig. Concentration of financial risk is such a scheme coupled to proof-of-stake consensus in their network is dangerous. BitGo or others preferable for custodial. So Flare Network obviously stating their opinion on this, their strong opinion on this, it sounds like. Martin Volk tagging me in this good info, so thanks so much to Martin for pointing me to this. Martel Anowitz responding, that one is actually not true. Wan Chain is not a custodial bridge solution. It fully over-collateralizes the assets that are being cross-chained. Proof-of-stake consensus is also the more reliable one when compared to proof-of-work. Also not centralized either. Flare down here responding, the Stormin Group is simply 21 unregistered MSBs. Again, if you want to use a custodial service, it's better to have one registered custodian, such as BitGo. And, you know, the debate goes on down here, guys. I will link this in the description. Matthew Hamilton responds to some of this, but other people also chiming in. So I wanted to thank Martin Volk originally for pointing me to this. Also, a huge thanks to MACKATTACKXRP for pointing out the Wan Chain update. And Wrath of Kahneman here on Twitter posting this, Ripple partner Bcash is one of two money transmitters the Bangladesh government two-person program is using to open mobile banking accounts to distribute social benefits and allowing cashing out, therefore banking the unbanked. So there is a Ripple connection here, and here's an article to that effect. Here, I'll just read a little bit of it. According to the Ministry of Finance, there are 123 social security programs, including 7 new ones under various ministries in the 2020-2021 fiscal that have allocations of 955.74 billion TK, which is their currency. But the news published in the Prothom Allo on Saturday about the distribution of the allowance held up due to digitalization process is very worrying. The Department of Social Services says it has decided to provide allowances through mobile financial services under the G2P government-to-person system. The program, which started in 97 to 98, was conducted through various state-owned banks. Certain dishonest quarters used to steal part of the allocation in the name of withdrawing the money on behalf of the beneficiaries. So this goes on to talk about some problems that they were having in the old system in Bangladesh. And it sounds as though, you know, with this new partnership, it is getting cleared up. Ultimately, this article kind of veering away from the topic, talking more about poor people's allowances in Bangladesh. But this connection kind of interesting, that Bcash is going to be one of two money transmitters that the Bangladesh government two-person program will be using. So I wanted to thank Wrath of Kahneman for pointing us to that. Again, guys, I will link this in the description if you're interested in this. I don't like to dwell on these things too much because, you know, there's a lot of topics that I like to cover, you know, briefly in each video, and this is why I do put all the resources down in the description for those of you guys to do your own research, to look into it further if you are interested in any particular topic. And speaking of particular topics that you might want to look into further, this gets me a little worried. Now, I did a video on this in November, so this is nothing new, but there is a new article with regard to this that was just released a couple of days ago. The Bearable Bull just posted this on Twitter today. They made it very obvious now, didn't they? The WEF warns of cyber attack leading to systemic collapse of the global financial system specifically. Now, when you read the headline, it kind of gets you a little worried, especially when you have your XRP perhaps on an exchange, and if you don't have access to that, what does that mean for you? How far-reaching and how widespread could a cyber attack be? Now, it's not looming, it's not going to happen this week or next week, or will it? These are the questions we have to ask us. How safe is your cryptocurrency? Is it on an exchange? Is it prone to hacks? This is also why I like to urge people to keep their cryptocurrency safe in cold storage. I personally use the Ledger Nano. I do have an affiliate link in the description of the video if you guys are interested in purchasing one. You don't have to use the link though if you don't want to. So what is this? Now, a report published last year by the WEF Carnegie Cyber Policy Initiative calls for the merging of Wall Street banks, their regulators, and intelligence agencies as necessary to confront an allegedly imminent cyber attack that will collapse the existing financial system. In November of 2020, which is when I originally published that video, I will link that video up here, the World Economic Forum and Carnegie Endowment for International Peace co-produced a report that warned that the global financial system was increasingly vulnerable to cyber attacks. Advisors to the group that published the report included representatives from the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the International Monetary Fund, Wall Street giants like JP Morgan, and Silicon Valley behemoths like Amazon. The ominous report was published just months after the World Economic Forum had conducted a simulation of that very event, a cyber attack that brings the global financial system to its knees. Does that sound familiar to you? World Economic Forum had conducted a simulation of that very event, a cyber attack that brings the global financial system to its knees. Now, where else did we see a simulated event that predicted a global pandemic? I don't know if you guys know this, but Event 21, which happened in October of 2019, which was before the world fell to their knees because of the beer flu pandemic, this occurred, and this was also a simulation. I'm not going to get into this, but I will leave this resource here in the description of this video. Down here, though, guys, this was put on by Johns Hopkins University, the World Economic Forum, and none other than the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Let me just bring up another page with regards to this. So here are some photos from the event. View some photos from Event 201 Pandemic Tabletop Exercise held on October 18th, 2019 in New York, New York. And so even just to scroll through here, you guys can see it was a panel, and they were basically discussing what could happen if the world saw a global pandemic. Coincidentally, or not so coincidentally, less than half a year later, most of the world was locked down because of a global pandemic. All right, so should we be worried? Let me play you guys this clip. Now, this is directly from the World Economic Forum's website, weforum.org, and this was just published in January of this year, and they talk about a cyber attack with beer flu-like characteristics. Listen to this.
The COVID-19 pandemic has shaken our economies and societies to the core and shown us how vulnerable we are to biological threats. In the digital world, similar risks are being overlooked right now. A cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics would spread faster and further than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we've experienced with the coronavirus. To give you an idea, one of the fastest worms in history, the 2003 Slammer sapphire worm, doubled in size approximately every 8.5 seconds, infecting over 75,000 devices in 10 minutes and almost 11 million devices in 24 hours.
Let me just put things into perspective for you guys. That was in 2003. Fast forward to 2021, think of how many more computers and devices like smartphones are in people's hands today versus in 2003. Let me continue.
Fortunately, at least until now, cyber attacks have not impacted our health the way pandemics have, but the economic damages, and therefore the impact they have had on our daily lives, have been equal and sometimes even greater. You see, the only way to stop the exponential propagation of a COVID-like cyber threat is to fully disconnect the millions of vulnerable devices from one another and from the internet. All of this in a matter of days. A single day without the internet would cost our economies more than $50 billion, and that's before considering the economic and societal damages should these devices be linked to essential services such as transport or healthcare.
So are these guys just warning us of a cyber pandemic? Or is there something that perhaps intelligence agencies around the world know that we're not privy to yet. Again, they talk about an example of disconnecting from the internet for a whole 24 hours. Could you imagine if the world went offline for 24 hours straight? In a lot of cases, that would be devastating for many people around the world, even just on a personal level. But, especially when they talk about things such as transport, healthcare, essential services, right? The world is so reliant on connectivity. And, especially in this emerging economy, our cryptocurrency on exchanges, the way we send money to and from each other's crypto wallets, for example, will all rely on the internet and connectivity. Again, maybe another reason why you might want to keep your cryptocurrency in cold storage.
As the digital realm increasingly merges with our physical world, the ripple effects of cyber attacks on our safety just keep on expanding at a faster pace than what we're preparing for. COVID-19 was known as an anticipated risk. So is the digital equivalent. Let's be better prepared for that one. The time is now.
They even state in here, the beer flu we anticipated was something that was going to happen, i.e. the simulation that occurred at Event 201. We should be ready for something that could be a lot more devastating, namely a cyber pandemic. And I just want to play you guys this quick clip of Klaus Schwab discussing this from back in July of 2020. This was a clip that I included in one of my videos from back in November, but I thought it was poignant, so let me just play you guys this real quick.
But still, pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
And there you guys have it. Klaus Schwab saying it himself at the World Economic Forum's Great Reset stage. You can see there right back in there, the Great Reset, World Economic Forum. So what do you guys think? Do you still have your cryptocurrency on an exchange? XRP right now, as of the recording of this video, trading at $1.70 per XRP token. Look, I've spent years accumulating XRP and other cryptocurrencies. I am not willing to risk that my cryptocurrency is locked up because of something out of my control like a cyber pandemic. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.